Hey everyone, it's kind of a muted Arsenal fan circle. It's the Sunday Show, Season 4, Episode 21. Disappointment, frustration reigns here. This was a game that we should have. I think we should have gotten 3 points for sure in this game. And you
They
know,
dropped the ball on your birthday, Ray.
they dropped the ball on my birthday. So look, the fans, think about the fans. Think about Tony. Think about my here. Everyone in the chat room here. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for the happy birthday.
Wishes.
Wish yous.
One of
We
Wish
those
yous.
also
is
have some wish yous.
Arsenal
Going
has some
on
issues and wishes.
issues and wish yous. So a lot of failed bids in January here for Arsenal. We haven't started this month. We haven't started the year very well. We knew a young team here. Um, would drop points. But I'm not making excuses. Today was a day we should have won. Today is my birthday still. I wanted 3 points. A year ago, we went out of the FA Cup against Southampton. I still remember that. 23rd January. Sacrificed the FA Cup. This month, we're out of the Carabao Cup. We're out of the FA Cup. And one goal this month in 5 games. Luckily, the club were able to move to not get that North London derby played. Who knows what would have happened? The month would have been worse. So think about me. Think about all of you out there, all those Arsenal fans hurting right now, and think about. I'm going to share the screen here. Think about this guy, and I'll tell you a story. Tell you a story about this guy. So, this guy goes to the Emirates. And Matt on the left. We all know Matt from AFC Red Room. Matt on the left had a great time today. Went to the stadium. Should have been a great experience. Met one of Arsenal's legends on the right hand side, Nigel Winterburn. But the experience, I'm sure, for Matt was not full and complete because the players, even if they're tired, even if Arteta's using the squad to its fullest effect, the players are tired, but you have to push through. You have to have persistence. You have to have patience required and desire in the second half to go on and win that game. And I thought we had opportunities. We'll talk about the opportunities we had, situations, talk about the situations. But at the end of the day, Matt's experience was probably a frustrating one. Everyone at the stadium would have shared what we were feeling back home, watching the game in our homes. Those of us who are not feeling so well, such as Matt here, who's suffering a little bit right now with a cold or something. So listen, that was my birthday. That was Matt's experience today, and all of us, whether we're wearing leather or not.
Hey, the fans asked for it, Ray.
The
Fans
boss.
the boss. Yeah, Bruce Springsteen, right? So listen, I'm sure the players didn't go out today, Mahir. You can start us off, Mahir. The players didn't go out today. They didn't wake up today thinking, "Oh, we'll just we'll just turn up and not play the game." The players tried, but at the end of the day, Mahir didn't have the quality enough today to get 3 points for us.
I mean, firstly, I want to shout out to everybody in the chats, everybody that's going to join us, Usman, the likes, everybody in the chats. We love you all. We really appreciate all your support. And a big happy birthday to our host, Ray. I mean, Ray, I remember the day we started this thing together, and look what a great family we've got, and it just continues to grow. Even though we remain tight, it's a very small circle. It's a very tight circle. There we go. Hope Sean Dyche hasn't completely ruined it.
Yeah.
I would have loved for them to pick up 3 points on my best bro, on our host, on his birthday. But like you say, it's a very young squad. Unfortunately, at certain times you can't expect a win even against the lower league teams. With no disrespect to them, Russ, you assembled everybody else coming in. Oh, and what was lovely also was just before the show, I actually tuned into Miss Melina. Miss Melina, one of our Arsenal fan circle family members. She's actually got her own channel, so you guys can go check that out as well. And yeah, man, guys, it's really funny that I unfortunately Alex, I'm unfortunately missed out on the game. And then when I was looking at the highlights, there's no highlights. Everybody's playing FIFA,
I'm not
trying
sure
to
if it's
emulate it. And I was
unfortunate
like,
you missed it or not, my here. You're kind of lucky in it.
Yeah,
maybe it was fortunate actually.
unfortunately or not. Gary's just left a message here. I'll be on soon. Don't waste all the good takes, and don't waste the
Right.
week. Don't waste the trip. Don't waste 2 hours of your life watching Arsenal. Listen, I thought the players.
We're
We
more
had
entertaining.
75.
Just watch us for 2 hours.
Tony, 75% possession. And yes, listen, I got this shirt. I'm wearing some merch. My family got this from me from Ireland, sent it, so I'm wearing it today. You know, I like the nice shirt. Thanks
I
from the
still
Hundred
family.
see the
percent. You look
deeper
good in it,
yellow.
right?
Yeah. The thing is, Tony, another team turns up, and another team want to take the points as well. And that other team was Sean Dyche and Burnley, struggling at the bottom, but really we should have put them to the sword. You're a stats guy, Tony. 20 something shots and
20 shots,
75.
5 on goal. So
Go ahead.
20 shots, 5 on goal. But they set up great defensively. I don't think we were ever even a threat, even though we were shooting that much. I think that's where we should be averaging at 20 shots a game, but all our goals are going to be coming from the midfield right now since Lacazette has to drop back and do everything except be a striker. Hopefully, we're bringing the phones off the hook, trying to get a striker in. Kind of sounds like we're starting to move a player to us now. So hopefully, sometime this week we have a nice announcement.
Tony, I think you're coming in just a little bit low. I don't. Let me know, everyone, if Tony's coming in nice and crisp and clear. Just a tad low, maybe. Happy birthday, right? Happy born day. Is that what we say in South Africa? Mahir?
Not really. He's just mixing. He's remixing Happy Birthday. Nice
I
episode.
think Prasto plays from South Africa. I'm not sure if I got that right or
Yeah,
wrong.
he is. He's definitely from
Cool,
South Africa.
cool. Evening, Alex, in the chat room. Yeah, Nigel Winterburn. So ready. Matt had the experience. Went to the stadium. Went to the game. Was lucky enough to be in one of those nice boxes, a nice executive box. So shout out to you, Matt. Had a good time, but unfortunately, frustration reigned for all of us. Matt here, failed bids, failed bids this month. Failed in the league so far. 1 point from 6. Dumped out of the FA Cup. Failed in trying to step up to Liverpool miserably on Thursday night, and we're failing so far in the transfer market in the window here in January. It's pretty clear we need some players in the house, right?
We've got 7 days. I don't even think. To be honest with you guys, it looks right now like we're signing nobody. All these things. Blahovic, Bird put in 55 million, and with Torreira, but they don't want Torreira, and Wijnaldum on loan, and who was the other one? Bruno Guimaraes from Lyon, and it looks like we're getting none of these players. And I just don't want to say. I don't want to say it to you guys. I didn't want to say it, but like I told you so. I told you guys, let's not try and get too gassed about Arteta winning too many games in a row and stuff because he's just gonna revert back to type, and our team is gonna revert back to type, and that's exactly what they've done. Ray and Tony, I'm sure you guys will agree with me when I say he sacrificed competitions where we could have actually gone and won. We would have been we could have been in the final.
It, it's
Of
not. It's not
two,
sacrificing. We don't have the players, Mahir. In midfield,
um,
in midfield, it's almost like we've sent players away from midfield to make Granit Xhaka look good. you know, making Granit Xhaka look better by removing players. Torreira has gone out on loan. Guendouzi, I don't think Guendouzi's ever coming back. And now Ainsley Maitland-Niles going to Roma as well.
But look how they're smashing. Look how him and Saliba are smashing it in League 1. Look how they're smashing it in League 1.
Yeah.
I would much rather have them with their attitudes than have this trash ass manager. Now, say for example, we needed midfielders, right?
We have a
Hey,
manager? I thought we just
Huh?
had a coach. I thought we just
oh,
had a coach down here.
Tony, that's 100% correct. I also forgot to say that. He's just a freaking coach. But anyway, is he even a coach? What
Ray's
is
not
he?
even defending him anymore.
I love it. I love it.
Tony, you said something earlier, Tony. Like, we have a coach, not a manager, and that's true. I think Arteta's more of a coach. I'm not sure if the cannon's facing the right way today. The cannon's not facing the right way anyway, because we were firing blanks today. Football with Brownie. Steve Denham, thanks for joining us. Happy birthday, Ray. The top looks well. It is a really nice top. Listen, somebody paid into the Cronky fund here and paid for some merchandise for my birthday. So, but also, isn't Arsenal supposed to give something back? Isn't Arsenal supposed to give you something back for your money? All those fans who went to the stadium today, some will forgive this performance. Some will say, young players, you will make some mistakes. You will drop some points. Arsene Wenger famously said that, Mahir. Others will say, Mahir, this is the Arsenal. We should be doing better than this. Go ahead.
Yes, Tony?
Are we going to get to a simple question now or cover that later?
Does anyone believe Arteta should be getting a new 2-year contract? We're definitely going to get into that in a little bit. So
we'll wait.
If you don't have an answer, think about your answer right now, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
You guys know my answer. Oh hell no!
Well, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it now here. So listen, Tony, you want to start off?
I'll start it off.
Steve Denham said, but Ray, it's not like AFCON was suddenly sprung on Arsenal. They've had long enough to prepare. We should have gotten the players last window to deal with AFCON. What is the old adage? Fail to prepare, and you prepare to fail.
Fail to fail.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So, Tony, Arteta has been offered what, a 2-year, or there's going to be talks about a 2-year extension, right?
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'd just say premature ejaculation would be the best way to sum up of us offering him a thing now. He hasn't proved that he can take us anywhere. We're already back to 7th place. Europa Conference League. Yay! But we're not in a place where we should be doing it now. Should be at the end of the season, see what he's doing, see what the team's done. It's definitely too early. I would have sacked him in October, like I said before. I don't think we progressed any. We were lucky to get up to 4th. Now we haven't signed anybody, got the reinforcements that I said we needed to actually do a top 4 run. We can still do it if we get the right players in there, despite the manager. And I think we need 2 midfielders and a striker. Just Arteta doesn't know how to use these players. Last year he seen Smith Rowe work. Didn't implement it into this year.
That's a summation of what's going on. Let's stay on topic. Arteta, does he deserve
He's not good enough. He showed it today.
And why would you open talks now?
That makes no sense why they're flirting with it. It's just, like I said, what scared me earlier this year is when Lee Dixon said that Arsenal were willing to give him 2 more years. So here comes my offer for 2 more years.
So
we might be totally out of Europe, yet we're willing to give him more time when he's shown that is 8th our ceiling with him. I mean, why are we doing it now? Wait until the end of the year, reevaluate everything, See what happens when we get reinforcements. I mean, they've definitely backed the manager. They spent 150 million. They're easily probably spent 50 million this window. Then we'll probably spend another 200 million. That's 400 million pounds.
So Tony,
The teams that give this guy, and they're already willing to give him more time, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
well, Gunnar Glenn has said no, the assemble. I don't think it's too soon. I said it on my. I don't think so. It is too soon. Sorry, Gunnar Glenn. It is too soon to be opening. But Tony, is this not similar to a player? If you want to keep him, you start opening the talks, and maybe it's exploratory talks. Now, I'm going to say,
I think
for
it's
my
because
part,
I think it's because they think with City's jobs will be open and he'll jump ship and go to City.
Do you think City want this
I don't
trash
think they want
manager?
him though. I don't think they
I,
do.
it's Tony. That's why you've said 100% correctly. I 1,000% agree with you. Why on earth would City want this, bro? Even for a year? Never. If that was the case, right? I don't know why I'm shortening the word never like it's a long word, but
we got that.
why on why on earth would Man City want this trash manager as Guardiola's replacement? You know, because if that was the case, right? Basically, what I would do is I would say, okay, fine. We're offering him supposedly 2 years to fight off City's interest because they want him as Guardiola's replacement. I would be like, okay, fine. You can take him right now. We'll take Guardiola for 2 years. No problem. Bring him on.
Leon Tordo said no win in 2022 yet. January is without a single win. Was it 2
Because
draws?
he doesn't know what he's doing.
2 draws, 2 defeats, and 3 defeats. I think now. Well, we lost 3 defeats. We lost to Forest, lost to Liverpool, lost to City, and 1 goal out of those 5 games. January is without a single win. Lots of us were looking at this January as a key acid test for Arteta. Ray, investing into our transfer fund, I think other fans should follow suit, boost our money, buy better players. Yeah. I mean, we all need to have more birthdays, right, Stephen? That's what it is. We all should have more birthdays coming up to the January window, and then Arsenal could have a huge influx of cash. If Arteta doesn't make top 4 after going out of all the cups, he should leave the club. No 2-year contract, or Arsenal nuts.
Yes.
The assemble said, right out must be one of the most insightful things I've ever heard you say. He's moving out by loan or selling any sign of individualism under the illusion of
Attitude
problems.
That's what I'm saying.
And listen,
I don't know.
I believe you look at Guendouzi and look at Xhaka. They both have attitudes. They both have problems. They both have problems.
It's different.
One is just seen to be a better ass kisser, for the want of a different word, and the other won't take any crap, being a younger player. Now,
but that's the difference. One generally has an attitude and is a shit footballer. The other one...
Was Guendouzi a problem under Emery?
No.
Because Emery played him every game, Tony.
And he should have. He was one of the brightest players. You didn't trust the players that ended up going on mutiny on him later on.
That's
why he played with young players.
Just finish your point, Mahir, and then we'll get into it.
No, but that's the thing. That Xhaka is a shit footballer. Who knows what position he plays in? And he kisses ass, and we've kept him so long. Even despite we've been told to fuck off. And that live and direct to our faces, even the people that backed him. But you can't keep somebody with such as Guendouzi, who actually, his attitude is more towards fighting. Like fighting for the badge. And you send him on loan, and look how he's shining. Now when you need midfielders, you've got nothing.
Mahir, you make a great point. Guendouzi, listen, I personally didn't think he's good. I don't think he's good for the club, but he fought for the cause. He fought for the badge. I think Granit Xhaka actually fights players and officials on the field. I think there's the difference,
Yeah,
you know.
it's absolutely the difference.
But one of them is at the club and the other is not, and they both, I believe, have attitude problems in terms of Granit Xhaka. You know, I'm surprised. So, listen, my personal view is that Arteta's contract needs to be earned. It should be incentivized. It should be for performance based, and we're not seeing a great performance, Tony.
He's not good enough.
In
He's
this
not
month,
good
we're
enough.
not seeing a performance from Arteta this month.
Tony is
Nope.
not good enough. I wouldn't even evaluate it at the end of the month, the end of the season. Give him more time. We're just wasting more and more time. And look how some of the players are regressing. Sorry to interrupt any of you guys with your guys' thoughts as well, because it's most important. We are family. But yeah, guys, I've seen a lot of players regress. I know, like I discussed it with Matt. I remember the once while we were on, all of us, and I told Matt, and Matt was like, "No, he doesn't think that a lot of players are have attitude, and it's the correct decision of Arteta to let them go out on loan for however long and sell them because of their attitude and all of that stuff."
Um, Steven said, "I'm surprised club would even mention anything. They wouldn't want to distract him from the football." Um, did you notice how Arteta's new deal was announced by the press after he went out of everything to get a bigger reaction, more clicks and views? We went out the first time of asking in the FA Cup. The assembled will know where I'm going with this. Out of the FA Cup, same date last year to Southampton, clearly devalued the club, devalued the cup in a reference of trying to stay in the Europa League last year. But they are opening talks now. They are scared of losing him. If we make top four or narrowly miss out, then by all means give him a new deal, as it will be progress. And that's the thing, Tony. Tony, you said seventh place. We're actually sixth place, although that is splitting hairs a little bit right now because there's so many games that have yet to be played, and we do have some games in hand on other players. But our next game is going to be Wolves away from home, Tony.
Yep, those two Wolves games scare me. I've been scared of them for about a month now. Now we're getting up to them. We haven't got reinforcements we needed before we played them. So we're going to be lucky to get 4 points from playing Wolves twice. Right now, like they'll probably beat us.
Can anyone remember Arteta ever saying that he's responsible for any Arsenal defeat? I won't hold my breath. Yeah, and there's always a reason why we didn't do it, why the players didn't do this, didn't do that. But unfortunately, and Dave is here watching in. Dave, having acquitted themselves well on Thursday night and dumped us out of the cup. Jota was the difference in that tie, right? There you go.
Yeah, 2 goals. I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. Like I say, guys, unfortunately, I was hit with some major fever, some major cold. I was completely out of it the whole of Thursday.
Oh,
And then my brother-in-law looks at me and he goes, "Hey, yo, what was the result tonight?" I was like, "What? Oh yeah, today's Thursday night."
um, so yeah, listen, I think the talks. Obviously, they're afraid that he's going to get his head turned and go to another project. Barcelona could be a project, but Arteta really hasn't done any. He hasn't done anything yet, really, to turn any heads. So I don't think there's any real rush, Mahir, to talk about this. I think it should be. Many people will say in the chats here, it's got to be till the end of the season. We have to wait and see what happens. Much like some of our transfer objectives, they're waiting till the summer to see what happens. Performance appraisal at the end of the season is fair enough, but there needs to be more pressure from the board and ownership. And I have to draw the line at top six here. You know, we
Sorry, I
all,
love. Sorry, I love you guys. Eh? I really, really love you guys. But
but
top six is never good enough. Top six is never good enough. Especially what we are the
Especially with no
Arsenal.
European football. We heard for years and years if we weren't in Europe, we could win the league. Now people seem to
Exactly.
be satisfied with just top six,
Top
not
six.
not even top four.
Yeah,
yeah,
what the hell's top
Who's
six?
who's been
Fam, who
brainwashed?
wants
Who brainwashed all the fans?
um,
absolutely Tony? I tell you who, no? I tell you who kind of started it. I really didn't want to bring this up, but Wenger kind of started this whole thing about top four being okay. I loved him. He
listen,
was our best manager
yeah,
by far.
you
But
could say that, my here.
whew,
You could say that when it wasn't as competitive many years ago. He said, "What do you want from me? We keep getting you top four. Top four is
mm,
like a trophy," and that was an admission of mediocrity, right, Tony? But
yeah,
now many managers and many pundits will say, all those years Arsene Wenger talked about top four being like a trophy, and now they agree it was like a trophy. So it depends really how you look at it.
I always liked it. 22 straight years of playing on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. It's an
same here.
accomplishment being consistent.
And then we
Yes,
slipped. And then we slipped, Tony. Through Arsene Wenger, we got worse. Through Unai Emery, we got worse. Aubameyang missed that penalty against Tottenham that would have put us into the Champions League. We missed the opportunity again to beat them in the Europa League. Failed opportunities.
Yeah.
We scraped through. We did win an FA Cup. That scraped us into Europe by the grace of winning the FA Cup. And last year we finished eighth outside of it, outside of Europe. Like you're saying, Tony, and I know it's a young team, and I have said that we will have blips, and maybe January is a blip for us, but it's
I
not
think
looking.
it's just a return to form. It just I don't think the players really believe in the formations and tactics of Arteta. I don't think he's the right person to do it. Only reason we went on a good streak is we got in trouble. We finally got Martinelli. Why wasn't Martinelli part of the squad before? He's good. He should have been in there.
He
It's,
was injured. He was injured, and he's been integrated back into the team now.
he wasn't injured the whole fucking time, Ray.
I'm telling you, he was injured, and maybe we persisted with Aubameyang too long. Jeff Sue said,
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe.
Jeff Sue said here, you're absolutely crazy if you think a club like Barcelona would choose Arteta. I don't think there's any need for the club to rush into this at all. Guendouzi's former manager said Arsenal will have problems with him because he wants to win. Let that sink in. Now, where is
mm,
Guendouzi? Third place with Olympique Marseille, and they've actually went and got Said Kolasinac as well. Unless you win the league, it doesn't matter where you finish. That's because the times under Wenger, the league wasn't half as strong as it is now. Exactly true. Exactly true. Couldn't see Arteta going to Barcelona. So listen,
nope.
I think we're all agreed. Before we get into the game, talking about Arteta, the club should wait and see what happens till the end of the season, where we finish in the league, because 17 games left, man. Here,
Sack him, sack him, sack him, sack him, sack
all
him
right.
now, man. Sack him tonight.
Let's draw some lines in the sand, okay? I set everybody. All three of us will set our objectives. I'm going to start by
Okay.
saying top six is the objective, and some people
Okay.
will criticize me for saying that because it's too soft.
3-0,
But
3-5,
under this team, and we have to realize we do need players in as well. So top six, that's the line I'm drawing in the sand. Mahir,
Uh, um, I just want him sacked. I want him sacked. I want Edu sacked. I want Vanai sacked. I'm not even. I don't top four, top six, nothing.
so
I just want those guys sacked.
if Arteta gets top four, you're going to sack him.
He's not gonna get top four, eh? He's
Well, I
not
want to know
gonna
where your
get
line.
top four.
I want to know where your line is.
Okay, where's my line? I can't. say top 4, top 6. I'm not a top 4, top 6. I want us up there. I want us up there in 2-1. I can't watch this anymore. If they give, okay, can I tell you guys something? If they give Arteta a new contract, my passion is gone. My passion is gone. There's no more rants. There's no more ramblings. If you guys ever see a Gundit News video, it's gonna be just reviewing calmly, like, oh, today we play Liverpool,
Like the weather.
and yeah, like the weather. So today's forecast is going to be 20 degrees with some light clouds, maybe a chance of a slight drizzle. I'm like reading you. I'm like reading you to sleep.
Jeff said we have no Europe to worry about. Like Tony said, we're out of all of the cups. That's a disgrace, in my opinion. Top 6 is nowhere near good enough.
First time we've been out of all the cups in January since 89-90.
Wow.
Tony,
another record for Arteta.
Let's
Arteta
get off
loves
this.
breaking all the good records, right?
So, Tony, let's get off this. That's a topic. Where's the line that you draw, Tony?
To me, the line is top 4. We're sitting here, game in hand, only 1 point behind United.
Yep.
Any team from 4th to 8th can get in the top 4. I'm not sure Leicester might be able to make a run, but it's pretty much up to 5 teams chasing 4th. They're all going to be close.
I still think it's between, dare I say it, Manchester United, West Ham, Tottenham, and ourselves. It's between.
Yeah.
Why are you ruling out Wolves for? They've been one of the best teams.
I'm ruling out Wolves because Wolves do not have a squad good enough. They don't
been
score
moving up the
goals.
table steadily, right?
They don't score enough goals. They will get up the table and they may get into Europe.
They went from 15th or 16th up to 8th.
They're not going to get into top 4. Now, the big winners this weekend have been Manchester United. We've had quite a few wins each weekend where we've gotten our win early Saturday morning, and other teams have slipped up. We just have to look at us slipping up. We slipped up this time, and that's on us. Yesterday we've had a pretty tough week, Mahir. Tottenham winning with those two late goals against Leicester midweek. Manchester United yesterday. I think the new directive is, and let's get into this before we're going to get into the game in a little bit, but I want to talk about the referees as well. And the reason why I want to talk about the referees today is because we can't blame the referees for our results, but there needs to be have a discussion about referees. Offside decisions, VAR will look at certain decisions longer than others. A VAR check at Old Trafford is 30 seconds. Are you frozen, Mahir?
No, I'm here. I'm right here, bro.
A VAR check at Old Trafford is 30 seconds. A VAR check at the Emirates is 5 minutes. And they come up with vastly different results. Did you see that supposed last-second goal at Old Trafford yesterday?
No, I did not. I would love to go and check it out. But like, what is this 5 minutes? Was there a decision that happened?
No, listen, I wasn't timing it, but in general, when we have a VAR decision to be made, the referees take up to 5 minutes to make a decision. I'm thinking about the penalty against Granit Xhaka for Manchester City. They take a long time. Old Trafford was a very, very quick check. And actually, the pundits at the end of the game, Tony, they glossed over everything. They never mentioned an offside.
It's just everything about the Premier League's inconsistent. Referees inconsistent. Calling off games is inconsistent. Just they need to have a set rules. Any goal opportunity, go look at the fucking monitor. Any penalty, go look at the fucking monitor. It should be the ref making the decision instead of some goofball referee that defend the referee from the beginning. I like it go to the NBA style where you have the head of official sitting in there with a bunch of monitors with him, with other referees, not really a fit that don't go out and referee. They're just officials looking at it, knowing the rules, saying, yes, this is a penalty. No, this is not a penalty. But to me, the final decision should be up to the
Referee
referee to
on the
go look
field.
at the monitor, and it takes half the time. When they go look at the monitor, they're like, okay, this is what happened. I fucked up, or I got it right, and they move on. It's not that hard.
Yeah,
Not that
Maher,
hard.
Maher, how many times in the game would you say big decision needs to be made like this? Once or twice, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Once or twice.
The
But you know,
referee needs to go to the monitor and take a look at it and make the decision himself.
Yep.
yeah. For example, so what the referee does is he blows his whistle. They obviously call him. They're sitting in the room with all the monitors. They call him. They say a decision needs to be made. He goes like Tony's saying. It's so simple. He goes to the monitor. He checks for himself and he makes a decision. Not 3-4 minute delays like, oh, I don't know, I didn't see it.
Just
Maybe it
go
doesn't
look
need
at
to
the
go
damn
to.
thing, right? But here, just go look at the monitor, see what happened.
Yes, see what's happening, make a decision, done. Boom. Whether you get it right or not, it's fine. Because even momentum doesn't get killed that way. Say the momentum's on our side.
Yep.
Then momentum gets killed because it's 34 minutes of oohing and umming. I don't know if I really actually saw it from where I was standing.
Russ, so Russ is asking where Gary is. I think Gary is on a family call right now. He said he was going to join a little bit later. Ray, we got
I
word.
don't think that's for a reason, right? Ray, Peloton's having problems. They're not producing any bikes, not producing any treadmills. Company's almost going to get
Okay,
bought by
so
somebody else. I think
all
he's
right,
crying over Peloton.
all right. So Maher, you make your excuse why Gary's not here, Maher. So we have three stories. Who are you going to believe? Okay, I say he's on a family call. Tony says he's on the Peloton. What do you say he's doing?
I honestly don't know.
Where's Gary? Where's Gary, Maher?
Gary's in a meeting with Arteta.
Oh well, then we won't see him because hopefully Gary's taking him to task for all of the things, especially where is the striker and where's the midfielder. It can't be
Yeah, I
that hard
mean,
to get a
days,
striker. You have to get a striker, get a midfielder from somewhere. Stan says we need three strikers, Mahir.
Jeez! I would love to find out who those three strikers are, though.
In
Stan?
the next two windows, basically.
Yeah. Mr. Tom
In the
says,
next three windows. Yeah. Next two
so,
windows.
listen, let's stay on the task here,
Tell
Tony.
me.
The PGMOL, and this is my belief. Okay, as long as us podcasters will say we know it wasn't a penalty, but Arsenal won today because we got a penalty, we'll take it. It's okay, we'll take it because they're going to screw us later. That's not the right message to send, though, is it? We have to start holding the officials accountable, Mahir. That's not just
But they're not
Arsenal.
going to do that, though.
Not just
They're
Arsenal
not going
fans. It's got to be Liverpool fans. It's got to be City fans. It's got to be Manchester United fans. It's got to be Leeds fans. It's got to be everybody who says, listen, the standard of refereeing is not good enough. And you're going to have situations where I was looking at Liverpool today, right? They got a penalty. Diogo Jota got a penalty because he moved into the goalkeeper. So the referees decided that was a penalty because he went into the goalkeeper, not the other way around. Until fans and the media start holding the PGMOL responsible and holding them to a higher standard, we're never going to get better officiating, right, Mahir?
Yeah, true. And it's that way when it comes to getting big decisions made. For example, like getting the Arteta and the Edu and the Vanais out. We as all the Gooners have to unite and basically walk out of games and not buy merchandise and that. Because as long as we're buying merchandise and feeding them the money, the corporates Who would any top striker want? Nobody. Nobody.
It's not
Even
Arteta. I mean, they isn't Arsenal a club you would want to come, a generational club? Okay,
I would love to.
maybe we're a sleeping giant, but a lot of players still want to come to Arsenal.
Well, my problem right now is that Arteta is faking his way into staying, and we're going backwards all the time. Because I don't know if you guys, I'm sure we all watch a lot of Arsenal, other Arsenal channels on YouTube. But my thing is that he's dragging us backwards. A lot of players are regressing and getting worse and worse and worse and worse. The likes of Tierney's, the likes of Partey's, everybody's going backwards. Under a new coach, I'm sure we'd be able to get top four with the squad. The same squad.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well, there's going to be some criticism when we get into the game for Lacazette. We've been living off
Hey, hey.
the forward line. I think Saka is tired. Saka's got to get some criticism as well. Martinelli, Erdegaard, Emil Smith Rowe, these are the players who have been carrying the team so far. Merchandise doesn't affect anything in the club. Already got the money from Adidas. Revanite, you are a Liverpool supporter. I want to know if you truly believe not just to single you out, but I want to talk about the referees. If you truly believe that was a penalty today, it wouldn't have affected your win. You would still win 2-1. At the end of the day, you won 3-1 because you got a penalty. Was it a penalty in your belief? What? And if you think it was a penalty, let me know why you think it was a penalty. Tony, did you see the incident?
I did not.
So, did you see the one for Newcastle yesterday where San Maximin is pulled down as well by the foot?
Yeah, didn't see that one either.
What's wrong with you? You're not watching any football this weekend?
I'm watching fucking Arsenal and I'm having a heart attack watching them.
Uh,
Sorry, Tony, man.
I got other things to do
Nayer's going
besides.
to drop into the chats in about 5 minutes. So,
I got other things to do besides watch football all day, Ray.
I believe, though, fans, YouTubers, Arsenal fans, football fans need to hold the officials accountable for the results, of their penalty decisions, for the results of VAR.
Can we just go back to amateur referees? We should not know any of the referees' names.
We have the best product in the world, probably.
Watching American sports, how many of the referees do you know the name of?
Don't know them.
There's
Well,
only like
one
or two out of each sport that you really kind of know because they do high-profile games. But
standard of referees looks bad in the Premiership, says Stephen Denham, because it's the officials who's running the dodgy bets. And Stephen had an accumulator going on. Let me see. I don't want to remind you about this, Stephen. He backed Liverpool 3-1, Leicester 1-1, Chelsea 2-0, and Arsenal 2-0. I would just like to thank everyone at Arsenal for effing the job up. That's nice. He had all of those, but Arsenal let him down.
Sure, you would have. Sure, you would have cashed out there intensely had we won 2-0.
Vlahovic is learning English just to turn us down. We can take that phone call, my here. Anyway, listen, that's the Premier League referees. I think my personal opinion is we have to start sounding the drum. If they make the wrong decision, if our players are simulated to get a penalty, we have to call it out. We have to be honest. And listen, being honest doesn't mean you have to castigate the officials. If you truly believe that you deserve the penalty, that's fine. I'm still waiting on you, Ravenite, as well, to back up what you're saying.
But the main thing, Ray, they have to be consistent on what is a penalty, what is an offside. They're not consistent on it in the rules. It's supposed to be any part of your body that's non-scoring could be offside. But here's a shoulder. You can't score with your shoulder or your hand, but they judge them offside based on that. and that's not according to the rules, right?
So
It
to
starts with being consistent rules.
change the rule then. Your toe, your forwardmost toenail.
That's fine
That's
with me.
that's
That's
where
what
the
it's
line.
supposed to be.
That's where the line should be. Just make it more clear for everybody.
I know that's what the NFL does. Every year they get the rule committee together. They say, "Is this working? Do we need to change the wording?" And all that. They work on it every year, and they'll change things mid-season. They're like, "We're flagging this too much. Let's change it. Let's not flag it for this or whatever." But the Premier League does nothing. It's just inconsistent rules. It doesn't seem to be
I
anything
agree.
looking at any committee looking at saying, "Hey, they're screwing up. This isn't working." To me, it starts with that. It starts with the FA just having a clear set of rules. This is what we're going to look at. If there's a penalty, we're going to go to the monitor. If there's a red card, we're going to go to the monitor. I mean, it's just simplify things.
It's a bit,
That's
yeah,
all they have to
simplify
do.
it.
Ready,
Things that'll be more
Simplify
consistent.
and clarify as well.
Ready said here. Did anyone see the fan protests at St Andrews by Birmingham fans? Nope. Against their owners. That's how things need to be at the Emirates now. Was it anything like last May or when we were protesting the Super League stuff? Really. So let us know. Okay, so let's get into the game. I don't know how much longer my hair is going to stay for with us, so I'm gonna go to
No,
you first.
I just wanted to say I love you all. As soon as I'm better, I'll be on for much longer. I'm gonna hop into the chats. Yeah,
Drop
man,
in the
just love
chat.
you all.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks for being here on my birthday.
Ray, and look out for your M3. It's gonna be sitting outside in a few minutes. I didn't want to spoil the surprise.
What is that?
Your M3, your BMW M3. It's gonna be
Nice.
sitting outside in a few minutes. So don't say I don't love you.
Not a Lamborghini, is it?
No. It's a BMW. Really evil looking.
They
Right,
cannot have
guys.
rules that is down to an individual's discretion. These are rules stated by FIFA. We love you, Mahir. Cheers, Mahir. All right, Tony. It is you and I until Gary comes in. Maybe Usman might join us. Usman is on a program, student exchange program in France. Uh, I did tell him it was French time, or an hour ago. Maybe he's off by an hour. He could be joining us in the next 5 minutes. Gary could be
Maybe.
joining us. Where's Gary?
Crying about Peloton.
So Gary could be doing a podcast.
You know
with
what
that
he's
kid.
not doing, Ray? Do you know what he's not doing?
He's not here.
Do you know what he's not doing?
No.
He's not watching the Cowboys.
That's right. Cowboys are out, just like the Eagles. We are clear and free here. Nothing to worry about. But listen, Arsenal is our passion. Arsenal is what we want to see back to its former glory. And we have a ways to go, Tony. Last season, 1-0 loss to Burnley, an own goal against Aubameyang. Um, Last season, away, a 1-1 draw against Burnley. So over the course of 2 games last season, we only picked up 1 point. We all remember that Bern Leno pass out to Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka tries to lift the ball over Chris Wood. Chris Wood is now at Newcastle, so he couldn't threaten us today. So we end with 1 point last season from Burnley.
How many points did we? I remember last week seeing the thing showing how many points we got from these fixtures last year. Wasn't that like 1 point out of these next 4 games or
Oh,
whatever?
I'm not sure, but they were saying these fixtures coming till next 5 or 6 fixtures were very similar to our bad run last year. And of course, Wolves away. Next one up for us on
That's a scary one. I think we're going to
February
lose it, man.
10th. I think it's February 10th. We're going to Wolves, so the team has 2 weeks off, more than 2 weeks off. But we did lose. We had 2 players sent off. So if you think Arsenal is doing really well right now, just having 1 player sent off for the last few games, we got 2 sent off last season. with Bernd Leno and David Luiz. Um, yeah, so let's get into that in a second. Gary is trying out for our striker position.
Gary already was our striker. He already did that. Ian
Ian
Wright
Wright,
moved on.
Gary's the only guy I know who went for a run on a treadmill and got lost. Arnie's here. Thanks for joining us, Arnie. Um, we were poor. Burnley, they just closed the door on us. They just closed the door on us. Stefan, I think that we had money to spend was a lie. Even Fergie said Wenger is a miracle worker because he had no money. Sell his best players and maintain fourth. Arteta spending money he never made. So Tony, our we had no midfield today. We had to go with a single pivot again. As you know, I'm not a fan of the single pivot, but I don't believe we didn't win because of a single pivot today. I thought Lakonga played quite well today.
I thought he was one of the best players the other day when we played it too. It's not his fault. It's just
the problem today is
the attack's not scoring, the midfield's not scoring now. The main thing of the problem today and the last game is no pace at all. It's like Zaka's back in the team and we're back to playing slow ball. That's when we were scoring all the goals and getting the 20 shots and 10 on target and stuff like that, is when we were moving the ball quick. Doing the through balls. We're still doing the through balls, but we're not moving with a pace like we were.
Mm-hmm. Helen's here. Can we get Sean Dyke? Says Riddy. I'm not sure if Sean Dyke is watching the podcast right now, but if he is, who knows? He might drop in. Thanks for joining us, Helen. Even if we have been entertaining in the last couple of podcasts, we're a podcast. You can get a lot of things from a lot of different things. A lot of different people get a lot of different things from a podcast. I actually feel better about the results somehow when we do a podcast. I know Tony, you probably feel the same way.
It's nice to get it off your chest.
Sometimes helps, right?
Yeah, even 2 hours after a game, it's still nice to 2-3 hours after a game. It's still nice to get it off your chest. Speak of what we think. Move on to the next game.
And that's the thing. Helen, thanks for joining us. Mahir was just here. You probably just missed him. That's the thing. We're all different. All fans are different. Some of us accept or see what's happening in terms of young players coming through, needing time to develop, needing time to make mistakes. Others believe this is the Arsenal. We're a better club than this. We should be doing better, and maybe the truth is somewhere in between. Only thing that saved our day was Kane disallowed goal against the Blues. So Tony, that's the thing. We're back to maybe looking for other teams to give us some favors here, and Chelsea have halted Tottenham, gaining points after points after points.
Yeah, like I said during the match, it was a draw, so that put us in 7th place. They ended up losing, so we're in 6th. Tied on points, but we have a better goal differential somehow.
Helen believes Arsenal will finish higher than Spuds. You like Spuds, but not by much.
It's been forever, though. It's been since Leicester won. That's the last time we had a St. Tidings
I don't know right now, Tony, if I could put my hand on my heart and say that we would finish above Tottenham right now.
It's a coin toss.
All right, so
we definitely need to reinforce. I think if we don't reinforce properly, they'll probably get ahead of us. But I leave it up to a coin toss. There's a man fresh off crying on his Peloton.
Nah, I wasn't crying. Hello, everyone. Everybody in the chats. Hello. Sorry I was late. I did have some family obligations, though. So,
I told you. So yeah,
Steven said you got lost on your Peloton.
No.
Find your way back.
Yeah, and Stephen, further to Tony's conspiracy theory, Stephen said Gary's the only guy I know who went for a run on a treadmill and got lost.
It's really tough now.
I said you were on a family call. Gary. So
yeah, no, it was. Welcome to the family. Hello, everyone. See Riddy, Mr. Tom, Arnie.
I thought he finally
Denim,
made his Chilean
Stefan,
debut, to be honest.
the assembled. There's a Tony guy in here. I see Helen in here. It's a new name for me. I guess Russell's in here.
Helen has been, with this dalliance with Liverpool. Helen's a Liverpool supporter, so, with us tangling with Liverpool, we weren't able to go toe to toe and step up to Liverpool over two legs, either fairly or unfairly. We weren't able to do it. But yeah.
So, what do you think of a game, Gary?
Well, Gary, let's catch up on other things first. We talked about the PGMOL. It's my personal opinion that fans have to start calling out referees for making poor decisions, VAR making poor decisions. And I'm saying this now because it hasn't affected Arsenal today. We didn't lose because of the officials, but there's a debate or a discussion to be had there about if we have the best product on the field, shouldn't we have the best referees?
Everything should be good about the Premier League, right? I mean, everybody wants to come here as far as players, managers. So, you know what? If you can make it in the Premier League, you can make it anywhere, basically, right? People go and they leave.
You can make it anywhere.
Yeah, people leave and then they come back. I mean, look at this. We've got, at least two big names coming back to the Premier League after, succeeding elsewhere. So, yeah, they should have better quality officials. It shouldn't be we shouldn't be talking about the officiating every weekend. I mean, it's poor. It's poor.
And really I don't know if you had an opportunity to see any of the situations yesterday. Newcastle beat Leeds 1-0, but Alan Saint-Maximin had an opportunity to get a penalty. It was never given. A clear penalty. The pundits are saying, who's that former goalkeeper? Tim Howard. Basically said didn't get the penalty because he showcased too much. He put his arms up in a theatrical way,
Isn't that how United get a lot of theirs? And
isn't
anybody
that how
else
you're supposed to show the referee that there's been an incident as well, and it shouldn't be dismissed by pundits that way. Gary, we had a little bit of fun about where's Gary. We did that a little bit earlier, so put forward a few theories.
Yeah, sorry I was late. Sorry,
I told the truth. You were on a family call, but
yeah, I saw the Jota penalty that was given, which I mean, you know what? That to some degree is some people might say I'm not going to bring his name up, but the Arsenal player when they dove and it should have been a yellow card, but then they went and looked and there was a tug, right? I mean, is it a yellow first before the tug, right, for the dive?
Yeah.
They don't call dives anymore, obviously, but there's something to be said about letting not giving the offensive players the benefit of the doubt every time, and that's what they did multiple times. That's what they do in this league. I mean, a 0-0 game match is okay. It's okay to have a 0-0 match. You don't have to give away goals and penalty kicks and whatnot. So, yeah.
What's your take on the Jota thing? Because I don't think it was a penalty.
No, he definitely dove. He definitely moved towards the goalkeeper, and if he was going towards the ball, he would have never. He could have scored anyways, right? He's going to score for sure. If he decides
to flick, he tries to flick the ball over the goalkeeper, misses the ball, and knows he's missed. So then he moves slightly to the right. Yeah. What do you want the goalkeeper to do? To get out of the way? Yeah. The goalkeeper has to spread himself in a fashion that he's going to try.
This is why they need to explain themselves, because somebody needs to understand. Like, we need to understand what we're watching. Can somebody, from PGMOL or whatever, tell us how that is a penalty and why it may have been given? Because there's probably a reason. They might have said the goalkeeper was out of control, and so it didn't really matter whether the player jumped into him or not. But no, it was poor.
Yeah, and listen, I just think all football fans, if they want the referees and officiating to be better, we'll move on now. That's what has to be done. We've got to start calling them out. okay, Arsenal got the penalty, but we should never have gotten the penalty. They gave it, but they should never have given it, and raise awareness that way. The other thing, Gary, we covered before we get into the game is Arteta's talks on Arteta's contract. Where do you stand on that?
I don't know. I mean, I understand why there's talk and why the teams might be thinking they should, but that just means that Arteta is their man, which is kind of disappointing to some degree. It would be nice if he actually gave Arsenal something for that. The FA Cup, that's old news now. We're 2 seasons into his 2 full seasons in now, or yeah, and nothing's getting better, right? As far as I'm concerned, it should be better than this. A lot of money spent, and they're messing this whole thing up. So yeah, I don't think there's any reason to rush, and it's not like they can't. I believe they can get another manager at his level, most definitely better if they wanted to. So I think there's no reason to go and do this. Is similar to the whole Jacques extension just to save his worth, and extending all these players to save their worth, and it's like, why? It's not. They don't even. No, it's not necessary, right? So yeah, no. I think it's a little too rushed. There's no reason to do that. And if he goes, he goes. Supposedly this is the Arsenal, right? If they did things, and that's the problem. They don't. This isn't the Arsenal in terms of the way that they handle their business. If it was, then he wouldn't even be thinking about leaving. So there's no reason to rush to get his contract out.
And I tend to agree with you, Gary. Starting to see maybe. Well, I want to wait till the end of the season, and I've drawn the line at 6th place. I know that for many fans, that's probably quite easy. It should be an easy target to attain. But where would you draw the line that if he crosses, he gets sacked? Or do you have a line? My hair doesn't have a line.
Coming into this season, I said 5th through 7th would be an improvement, but I also wanted to see the quality of the play that we have. And right now, I think we don't have that quality of play that we expected. The performances aren't what we wanted on a consistent basis. And anybody gets injured, anybody gets a red card, and we're basically in trouble. I mean, Burnley hasn't played in what? In 15 days. They haven't played in 15 days, and they were able to contain us. I don't, and we can talk about the youth, we can talk about this and that, and injuries and all of that, but at some point, those excuses don't work anymore. All right, they don't work anymore. So if we can't beat Burnley after they haven't played for 15 days, then how in the world he's consistently going to be able to beat other teams that we need to beat, right? We're playing Wolves coming up next, right?
That's
going to be a tough one based on what we did today. No matter how many, we'll see when Partey's back, if he comes back, the way we saw him the last time.
Way too many L's in there, Ray. Way too many L's.
So let's talk about that next. Gary, have you finished? I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, no.
Second, let's look at it. Yeah. Listen, I've hyphenated there because
before we go there, can we go to what Gary definitely was not doing before?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you 30 seconds.
Gary was not watching his Cowboys. Unless he's watching them on replay.
Yeah.
They're out of the playoffs, Gary.
That's mean. That's mean.
I was not watching the Eagles, but I kind of knew the Eagles weren't going to go far.
Hey, you know what? The 49ers won again, so I guess they aren't that bad, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, we'll get into the Burnley game, and I know, Gary, I think you left at halftime. You had to go play a game or something.
It's basketball season over here, so I do that on my Sunday mornings and stuff. So
all right. So listen, the hyphenated. See some people say this is like a Welsh city here, but it's not really. This is Arsenal's season in terms of L's, W's, and D's. It's hyphenated because Stan had given Arteta, and I kind of roughly agreed. I went toward the end of October, so the hyphenated in the middle is toward the end of October. I think we signed off with the win against Watford, which was a similar game to today's one, but we actually got a win against Watford. Anyway, the second set is one I want to hone in on. We got 10 games there, Gary. 5 wins from 10, 1 draw. So that's 30 points available. We've picked up 16 out of 30. It's not great.
No, and those 2 losses back to back are the ones that were killers, because those are games we need to beat against teams that are, that we can compete with, and we should be able to get wins. And we had opportunities to win in both, right? I mean, yeah. So we always have these kind of little, I guess that's a little blip there. Those 2 losses there. I mean, the other losses we probably they're understandable because they're against some of the top teams.
Liverpool
but,
and City.
yeah, so we'll have to we have to be okay with that for now, but we shouldn't be content. We need to beat the teams that are at our level, and drawing with Burnley is just not good.
No.
It's not good at all.
Um,
And I think Russ's point that we didn't have Partey or Xhaka, and that's not really Arteta's fault, and it is Arteta's fault. The fact that those are the only
He
2
should
we
have never
have.
played. Partey should never played.
Well,
Thursday.
there's multiple
Hindsight.
there's
That's
multiple
Mr.
points to
Hyde.
that. One is
Yeah,
we
but that
should
goes all the way back
Hold
to
on,
what we
hold on.
started with.
Take your
Yeah.
turn. You'll get
Yeah,
your
there's
turn.
multiple issues there. One is you should have depth, and we always knew that coming into the season, and we knew that coming into the last season, and we knew that coming into the season before that, and the season before that, and the season before that. And we just did not have a midfield, and we didn't have depth there. So that is on Arsenal.
We had depth there. We just loaned out the players, Gary.
We didn't have depth there. If
Yeah,
we
we
did,
did.
he would have played it, and he doesn't feel comfortable playing it, so then he doesn't have the
You don't
depth.
think we had any depth with Terrera, Guendouzi?
I'm just telling you, Arteta does not have the depth that he wants, which is disappointing because, like you said, we do have decent players that we probably could put there, but Arteta doesn't like them, so he's not going to play them. Maitland-Niles, all he did before he left was win man of the match, and he never saw him play again.
That was it. Yeah,
So
the Watford game.
So what does a player have to do?
Exactly, Gary. Exactly, Gary. Russ says here our chance. Obviously, you're saying here our chance of winning today would have been higher with either Partey or Xhaka available, but that wasn't exactly Arteta's fault.
Well, both Tomiyasu and Partey are Arteta's
How was
fault
it not
for playing them
Arteta's
because
fault?
they both hadn't practiced. They both were going to be tired from jet lag and another just from coming off I think he had COVID, right? So, and then you knew that you weren't going to get the kind of player that you wanted out of them. And now Tomiyasu's out for this game. So obviously that backfired, and it wasn't worth putting him in that match. All right?
Yeah.
Because now he's out, and now we've lost points today. So I think, rushing players back too soon never works for us. When's the last time we rushed a player back where it works? I mean, and Xhaka is not the answer to that question because he's not really a player that I think, at least for me, that I want to see out there. But that's what we have to deal with. But Partey got rushed back twice, and he's missed the next game after it. So it's like, no, why? Let's not do that anymore. But we keep doing it over and over again, and we don't have the depth, and that's been an issue. So having 5 young players on the bench and you're not going to play them at all. I mean, you can see at the end of that game. I did watch the second half, and you can see towards the end of that game. I mean, we looked good in that 60th minute. That 10 minute.
We had a 10 or 15 minute spell where we really piled on.
Yeah, we looked good, but then you can see we started to wear down after that because when Nketiah comes on, you basically and you take off Emil Smith-Rowe, you're basically just killing any kind of momentum that you're going to have or any opportunities you're going to have to score. Because maybe we'll get into that, but for me, I looked at that game and. Without the youth on the team, we don't even have a chance in this game.
Which game?
In the game today.
Yeah.
Without the young players, we don't. Martinelli, Emil Smith-Rowe, Saka. For me, I don't know. Some people said they didn't look good today, and I'm like, they're only the reasons why we even have an opportunity to score.
Yeah.
There's those players.
And they're the only reasons why we're in the position we're in right now, Gary. So right now we are we had been in control of our destiny a little bit. We still are, Tony. We're a game behind on some teams. If we win that game, now that game is Wolves away from home in 2 weeks from now. They have Conte and we have Coleman. In the end, that will likely make the difference. Arguing on Arsenal fan circle, outraged. Not quite arguing. We're having a healthy discussion, isn't that?
Yeah.
That's what we call it, right?
I'm just waiting for you and Gary to start your GoFundMe for your marriage counseling.
We never lost. Well, until we start talking about goalkeepers, that'll never happen, Tony. You know what I mean? We never lost or drew to Burnley at home under Wenger. And Burnley have definitely become our bogey team. Noe came in a few minutes ago. Noe, thanks for joining. Hey, Ray, Gary, and Tony.
Hello, hello.
Why are we even talking about Wenger his final years? They were not good. You're right, Jeff. Arteta isn't good enough either. Simple. Yeah, it's starting to. What we need is players. We need better players. We've been talking about this in this channel. We have maybe 9 or 10 we can fill a team with. Arsenal started the season unprepared, correct, and it has continued. No plan B, off or on the pitch. Who created all this? And the plan B is not good enough. That plan B is Eddie.
But that's not even a good plan B because you were going to
No.
sell him in the beginning of the season, which meant it was okay for him to go. So
No,
But we
Yeah.
can't get rid of him because of his wages.
stressful
and you know what?
performance.
It would have been worth letting him go for the wages. Just pay half the wages and let him go. Whatever. I mean, they're like writing off contracts anyways. You know, at some point you're just gonna. If you're not going to play them and you're not going to figure out a way to get the best out of them, then you can't. Why are you keeping them? It's
Yeah,
the
the
dumbest thing I've ever seen.
No,
Last
you
year
don't.
and a half, there's 6 contracts we've either terminated or bought out. I don't know why Eddie wouldn't be one of them. He's definitely not good enough.
Not good enough. Not good
We
enough.
wasted Balogun last year. Balogun should have went
and-
out on loan.
You get to 70 minutes and you know what you have on the field is the best that you have, and you know by making a substitution, you're getting fresh legs on, but you're not making your team better.
And that's
Such a
your
very
problem.
stressful performance, but frustrating as well, Noe. The sad thing is that all these discussions and arguments are pointless unless there's a change in ownership. I'd settle for getting better players in right now, ready. Without the youth, we would be in a relegation battle.
Yeah, but we need to rely some on the youth. We've ran the legs off Saka, Smith Rowe. All those players are getting tired, getting injuries.
Here's the thing, Tony. Other teams around us are using their squad in a better way than we are.
They have a squad of more than 12 players.
Correct.
Right?
That's the problem.
We don't have.
And why do we have a squad of 12 players? Because Arteta doesn't want to take time with other players.
Well,
because-
he doesn't know how to coach other players that don't fit his system. You know, which is ridiculous, right?
And that's what they want. We were
Yep.
just talking about
This
the
is the
other day if he's coach or manager, he's really kind of poor at both of them.
This is the Pep Guardiola thing. Go and buy the best players available. Well, guess what? We can only do apparently 6 per transfer window. It's not going to happen in this one. Tony, what happens is suppose that the January window is going to be so fluid. We're going to get so many players in. Players would want to move. Well, guess what? I guess teams don't want to part with their players, right?
It ain't over yet.
It ain't over yet. Wenger has done more for Arsenal than Arteta will ever do as manager.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even. We're not. What I mean, we're always we're comparing him to. We're not. We shouldn't even compare it. It's not even
No.
worth the time
No.
and effort because it's just not. I mean, you don't. It's not. We're not. There's nothing to compare. I can't compare. I can't. You want to compare the first 2 years of those managers? Arteta is probably doing better than them, right? But this is
No.
not. This is
No.
you know they started basically at the bottom and then they grew, right? He's starting at the top. This might be the best he gets. I can't. I mean, people say he's like he might be going to
Let's do
City.
let's do
How?
a fair comparison. Let's do Ole, Pat Frank, and Arteta. Which one's the best manager out of the 3?
Who were the three again?
Fat Frank, Ole,
Ole.
In their
and
first 2
Arteta.
years.
I
That's it.
still go with Arteta being better than those two.
Yeah.
Even though
The-
even though United finished second and third under Ole, you think he's worse than Arteta?
You know what? The problem is Arteta needed 25, or maybe let's just make it back. Maybe he needed 20 players.
He signed or extended over
Other than the
30
ones that
players since he's
well,
been with us.
I'm not saying I don't know. That doesn't make any sense either, right? But he's going to have to replace 20 players since he's been here to fit
He's
his.
already done it, Gary. He's already signed or
He has
extended
not
30
done it, or
players.
else he would play them. He would play them. If he had the players that he needed, he would play them. That is the truth, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have them.
He doesn't play them. Like Xhaka goes out for what was broken leg or whatever. As soon as he's ready, he comes back. Why? Because he has nobody else that he feels confident.
He's extended him.
Even if he didn't go out
Twice.
for the leg, but if he did, he would come back in the same amount of time. Why are we comparing?
He's refused to sell him. He's extended his contract.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't like those comparisons because they don't really do much for us. I mean,
he's got the players. He's
and you know what?
signed and extended
What manager
enough
out
players.
there can you compare to? No manager out
What
there.
do you want him to have? 60 players, Gary? 60? 60 new contracts?
He needs to have 25 of his players.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they not his players if these signs are?
You know what? Based on you know what? Look with your eyes and see what players he plays. Does he play all his players? We've already established that he doesn't. So he doesn't have the players that he wants.
Yeah, but
right?
he extended Holding.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Actions speak louder than words, Tony. His actions tell us he doesn't have what he wants.
Correct. Yeah.
He's signed the fucking players.
He goes to Eddie. He goes to Eddie all the time. Why doesn't he just move Martinelli up top?
Why doesn't he fucking just sell the players if he doesn't like them?
Listen,
they can't sell anybody. He keeps ripping up contracts. It's a poorly run squad, man. Come on.
As Gary will tell you, he and I will disagree on certain things and we go back and forth, but I have to agree with Gary here. Arteta wants who he wants. Arteta's heart wants what his heart
Mari. He extended Mari. He went out and got William. He's had all his fucking players. 30-some fucking players.
He has not.
Yes, he has.
Well,
when does he play them?
He fucking signed them, Gary. It doesn't matter.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. When does he play them?
Who cares? He signed them.
Who cares? That's the reason why.
So
why keep him around then, Gary?
Why not loan out those players? It's poorly run business, man.
So Tony's right in a sense, Gary. Last season he wanted William, he got William. Those were his players that he picked.
He wanted Luis. He's got Luis.
He used them wrong. I believe he used them wrong. William would have been okay if he wasn't slated to replace Pepe.
Yeah.
Luis actually should have never left. There was no reason to let him go because you didn't have the depth that you wanted, and you had actually seniority on that back line when you had him in there. To me, it actually made more sense to keep him. Especially if you have a Saliba who's young and is out there actually, and you would seen him improve. The 50 for White might be good in the long term, but based on the fact that you missed the leadership back there, maybe that's where Luis. For me, that's where Luis would have fit in. The problem once again is in midfield and a striker. You just don't have the player that you want there.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have the depth in midfield, and I would like to get a starter in midfield, and you don't have a striker who, when you put the ball in the middle, actually will attack the ball. Actually has a presence in the middle. Yeah. Lacazette is just tiny in there. He just disappears in the middle. He's not going for a header and getting his head on it. I mean, the only person that got a head on the ball on the header that I saw today was Gabriel. Right?
Yeah. And Lacazette missed the most presentable chance.
He misses again, right? I think he had 2 opportunities today, and he missed again. I mean, that's what he does, and that's just poor. Yeah.
A great move with Tierney down the left to Emile Smith-Rowe. Emile Smith-Rowe's direct running, drives into the box, passes the ball into Lacazette, and he hits it on the outside of his right foot and wide of the goal, Tony.
Yeah.
Open goal. He's got to be scoring there. Helen said, we do understand Wenger. We're not that young. Don't understand. Without Wenger, Arsenal wouldn't have had the titles.
And it's not even a Wenger discussion. We're talking about this and this. We're in a rebuild, so it's a matter of what we have now and getting the best out of it. And we're not
Gary,
doing that.
we're in a rebuild, but have we stripped down to the bare bones too much in midfield?
Yes.
Yes. Did we prepare properly for AFCON and injuries?
Nope.
And can we get some bodies in?
So far, the answer is no. Because we could. We're all hearing. At least the reports are Dusan. Arthur, and supposedly maybe the Arthur deal will come through, but I don't. I hate to say it, but hopefully Arthur deal is not a Ceballos deal, right? So, that's the scary part.
Sheesh. I already said it. It's my nephew. Thanks for the top. So I got a top.
I don't know what you guys thought, but for me, once again, we just we take too many touches in the box, and a team like Burnley, who's just sitting back there with parking a bus back there. Every time you take an extra touch on the ball, it's just another opportunity for them to get.
Yeah, but just 3 or 4 weeks ago, we were shooting it like crazy, Gary. We're scoring goals.
I'm not talking about two. I'm talking about what I saw today. What I saw today was many touches in the box, and how many blocks did they have? Whereas maybe if we just take the shot the first time, maybe it gets through, and we were able to do that a couple of times where the ball, the first touch was a shot, and they made some stops, they made some blocks, of course, but we needed to continue to do that. You have 80,
we still had 20 shots, Gary.
80% of the ball. You need
better than our 8
score.
or 9
you need to score.
We're averaging earlier in the season.
It doesn't matter. This game, we needed to score more than one goal. We needed to score 3 goals today.
So you want us shooting 40 shots?
I don't care as long as we score the
goal.
If you shoot 3 and you score 3, I'm happy with that. You go home. You're efficient.
We need to score. The only way you score is you keep shooting at the goal. So
we were not efficient today, Tony. We were not efficient today, and
we weren't efficient, but we still shot 20.
It doesn't mean it means nothing. It was a draw, 0-0. Nobody cares about that stat right now.
Everyone wanted us to shoot it. We shot the fucking ball 20 times, Gary,
and we didn't score. So we need to shoot more.
Let's keep it constructive, Tony. Let's keep it constructive.
I am. I'm just saying. Yes, we're not efficient at scoring, but 20 shots is not a shabby number.
Yeah.
Ryan Anderson said, I saw Burnley with a back 4 in the box and another 4 just outside the box.
And you know what's interesting about that, at least for me, is all right. So when they're in the box, you see like 8 people around the box, right? When we're trying to play out for the back, we can't do that either. So tell me what's going on. There's got to be something between playing out from the back and then when we do finally get the ball into attack in third, they got 8 players there. Because it's so slow, it takes too long. By the time we get the ball up to the attack in third, they're already caught up to us. And that's because we just take our time getting in there and putting pressure on the back line. It just,
Here's the situation at Arsenal, and Arteta are not able to solve low blocks, Gary. So a team comes to the Emirates and sets up like this with low blocks. It's something we have not been able to break through. Watford, Norwich, and now Burnley have presented challenges for us. Stefan said, normally you need a moderator for the chat, not the panel.
I'm just trying to get...
I guess I'm the moderator and I should mute one or other of those other 2 people sometimes. You know what I mean?
Things have got feisty since Gary's joined.
We're just talking about the game.
So, Gary, let's talk about the first half real quick. I thought our first 15 minutes especially was so passive. Not a lot to talk about, not a lot to write down in terms of notes. Lacazette had a give and go with Lakonga, but shot wide, wasteful. Lacazette's been wasteful in his finishing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, once again, another game. I mean, we had time to plan for this one. You know, had some time. The Burnley hasn't played in a while, so I don't know. We looked like they looked better prepared than we were for this match. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they did it. I don't. That should not be the case. We are supposedly a better squad. We knew what they were going to do. They were going to do this no matter what, right? And we didn't come in prepared once
Yeah.
again. And this is that's the key to this whole thing is we're not even prepared when we know what's going to happen, right? So
As Reddy says here, why didn't we try to exploit the Westwood, who was on a yellow, especially in the second half? We didn't attack Westwood enough
yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
19-minute Middlesbrough Rose driving round, pass to Erdegaard. Shot was saved. This was a double shot. Erdegaard's well-controlled shot was saved by Pope. Pope, we have to say, had a good game, obviously, against Arsenal. I don't know how many saves he made, Tony. Probably 5, right? And the ball comes out again to Lacazette. Lacazette's shot is blocked, Gary. Westwood's foul on Tierney. In the 25th minute, he gets a yellow card. 26th minute, White is fouled. And 27th minute, Erdegaard's shot from a free kick was saved. So, after 15 minutes, we didn't play well. But the next 15, we were trying to get things going. But the tempo wasn't really fast enough for us.
Sorry, I needed something good to happen, so I have the women's game going. They just scored, so Arsenal scored today.
Excellent.
So, it's our first time Arsenal scored in like the last 4 matches they played. So
I know they lost against Manchester United the last time out.
And I mean men and women, so yeah, it's pretty.
So I thought you were cheering for Stan's other team. They're up 10-0 right now.
Who?
Stan's other team.
I don't like Tom Brady, but I don't.
And his $2 billion, his $5 billion palace.
I don't like Stan Kroenke. I was going to say Stan Brady. I don't like Stan Kroenke more than I don't like Tom Brady. So I'm okay if Tampa Bay actually win that game. So
yeah, it's funny because it's like, do we want the Rams to win because then they'll feel happy and maybe they'll throw more money towards Arsenal, or do you want the Rams to struggle? And then negatively affects Arsenal anyways, right? Because now he's got to figure out how to get Rams better, and that means he can't put his effort into getting Arsenal better. So I'm torn which way I want that to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't. I think he would be that would be if his teams won anything, that would be just poor. I don't think anybody would like that. But yeah, like I said, that first half, I came away from it thinking, wow. I don't think they looked more threatening than we did.
Yeah.
In terms of like maybe getting a goal out of this thing. We had the better players to do that. I mean, I kind of still feel like you have to look at Martinelli and go, why is he always going down that left side, waiting for somebody to catch up to him? And if the first person I see come into the picture is Lacazette, and I need more than that because he's not really gonna do much in the middle there. I need more players there.
Yeah,
and we just it's not like you don't know where he's gonna go with the ball next. So there should be people just sprinting to get into that box.
Stefan said 93 minutes gone quick. Great show tonight. So thanks to Mahir, thanks to Tony, and thanks to Gary for providing great discussion, great talking points. And yes, Tony, we kind of talked around the game, but now we're getting into the nuts and bolts of the game. And
I saw Tony's comment there. Yeah, go ahead, Tony. Tell me about that first half, at least.
Wasn't good enough. Just slow tempo, back to what we were doing before we started winning, before we got Martinelli integrated, before we started doing all these through balls. Back to same old slow, boring football. Just ain't good enough, Gary.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we looked really bad in that first half, and I was hoping. I was saying to myself, you know what? Maybe the 3 goals will come in the second half.
Yeah.
And I think on another day, those 3 goals would have come in the second half the way we played. But we're missing some important pieces.
Steven said Martinelli's doing what Arteta wants. It's just a shame none of the other team are up to speed with him.
Yeah, that is disappointing, right? You think, all right, you know what he's going to do when he gets the ball, so then he's not going to do this all by himself, and he needs somebody else up there with him. I mean, the only reason why Emil Smith Rowe was able to make that turn later in the second half is because he got the ball higher up the pitch, right? Whereas Martinelli seems like he's got to take it, almost a third of the way up the field, a third of the way to get into that attacking third, and he's got nobody with him. So he needs some friends. Some friends.
Ray Anderson say short corners were because of Burnley defenders. Anything that went in from long corners, did we get a chance when we put in the long corners? No, it was meat and drink. I thought frustratingly, a lot of any crosses we put in there, none of the Arsenal players were getting to the second balls. Tony.
No, but you saw what happens when we kept the ball low, right?
Yeah,
on that free, we put the ball low. I mean, the short kick was ridiculous because we didn't even get a shot, and it turned into a counter. So, no, at the least put the ball into the box, right? Yeah. At the least put the ball into the box because that short corner actually worked to worked to their benefit, not ours.
Burnley were well drilled, Tony. Emil Smith Rowe breaks in the on the 30th minute. There's a tackle from behind, a little bit of a nasty tackle. Westwood's challenged again on Martinelli. Westwood is walking that line where possibly, and I noticed the referee walking close to him, probably having a conversation as the game continued, Tony.
He was going to keep him in the game no matter what, which is, I think, is just call it the way you see it.
Yeah.
All right, because the one where he grabs Gabriel, that's a yellow.
He
goes up high, he grabs him and holds him back from continuing on up the pitch. That's a yellow.
They're both yellows.
And he didn't call it. And it's like, at some point you just have to make, because if that's what Gabriel, they call it, right? They don't, because that looked to me not as harsh as the one that Gabriel had on Jesus, but a similar situation where you've got your player coming up the middle, and you know what, you put your hands on him and you pull him back. It's a yellow. It's got to be consistent, right? If it's a yellow for Gabriel, it should have been a yellow again, for Westwood in that scenario.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether he's on a card or not. That's not your decision to make in that particular case. If it's like one of those 50-50s, yeah, I get it. That was
that part of the discussion earlier, Gary.
Yeah.
The referees have to officiate the game, not manage the game. Still up to the referee to decide. Oh, I want to keep 11 players on the field today.
Yeah, but first of all, the rules have to be set in stone, consistent. Then the referees have to be consistent.
The rules are set in stone. Whether or not they attempt to use them is one thing.
Yeah, right? But they say you can't score with your shoulder or your hand, but an offside's judged by your hand sometimes.
Yeah.
That's not part of the rules.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to go. You saw Assemble's thing about our
strikers.
Our strikers being tired because they're being overworked, and
that's not an excuse.
That's what Arteta is asking for. But once you get in front of that goal, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if you've been overworked or not. You got to put it on target.
Yeah.
I mean, we're missing. I mean, when those are a lot of our shots that are not on target are inside the box. I mean, come on. I mean, it doesn't. You could be overtired and everything, but you know how he's expecting you to play. This is not something new for any of those players that we're talking about. Only players that should be thinking that way are attacking players that we brought in. Who's that? We have not right. Maybe
Fine beans,
Erdegaard,
Gary. Fine beans.
maybe Erdegaard's not used to it, but he did play for half a season. So there's nobody in the attacking side that's new that hasn't seen what Arteta expects to get out of his players. So you know
Gary's
this
full
coming
of
in.
rhetorical questions today.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. Who's that? We can figure it out. We can figure it out.
yeah.
Okay, so Westwood's riding the tightrope. This one is to Tony. Ramsdale pass out from the back. This reminded me of Granit Xhaka last year at Burnley. But he's able to give it to Smith Rowe, and we're able to get out of problems. Xhaka would never have been able to do that a year ago. Maybe it was for the best that Xhaka wasn't in this game. This game would not have been for Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, would have. It'd been right up his alley. Been a yellow or a red card.
Yeah. In a bad way, yeah, it would have been up.
It'd been right up. It'd been typical Granite. Come on, right?
We won't even get started on we won't even make that a topic, Gary. The comments that Granit said. What did Granit Xhaka said? This is what I do. Remember?
Oh, you guys didn't see my DM where I was just putting my explanation as to what that actually means. That means, like, every time he goes into a 50-50 and he gets a red card, his answer to that is, I'll just do it again because that's the way I play.
That's the way I play.
This is our leadership, right? This is the leadership that Arteta wants us to follow. Follow his lead, right? If it's a 50-50 and you're not going to give up the goal if you decide not to go in top, loose-minded, he's going to just go and do it. That's the way he plays.
That's the same as his non-apology.
Well, he hasn't apologized. Like Partey apologized for his red, which kind of is on Arteta as far as I'm concerned.
Gabriel apologized for his.
Yeah, and straight red from our leadership. He just basically said it's just the way I play, so we're just gonna have to deal with it.
And guess what, Gary? As soon as this suspension's over, he's back in the game, even though he's cost us a penalty and a red card.
I hate you because you're telling the truth, Tony.
Yeah, Tobin Heath. What if she's healthy? This women's team would be so good. But once again, she can't start a match yet. So until she's healthy and can play 90 minutes, I think they're going to struggle.
Helen is asking how we doing this season, the ladies. They'll be joined by LFC ladies next season, so we can get a win against Liverpool next season. Come on,
that would be nice. That'd be nice.
We actually recruited 3 new players this window, but I wish the men's would actually follow suit and get some players in the door as well. Rudy said we are still top of the league, so definitely it's been a bright spot at the club as well. And we do like to big up the ladies as well as the men.
Can we just start covering them and just stop covering them in?
Yeah, it would be nice balance, right? Xhaka apologized for his red against Liverpool. It doesn't make it right to apologize.
I don't. Okay, so how did he apologize? Because I don't.
How and when, right? Ray, send us a link. I want to see a link.
Because I don't. I mean, I don't. I know I saw Partey on Instagram did it, but I don't know. I never seen Xhaka do it. I knew he did a report. He went to the reporters to talk to them about how he plays and what he did. I mean, I don't remember seeing an apology in there. Maybe I missed it because he's my favorite player.
Come on, Ray. But, Mr. Anderson, send us the link.
Yeah, no, I would like to see that because I will put my hands up and say I missed it, but I
certainly did see it.
Yeah. Thanks, Mahir. I hope you feel better. I feel a little bit poorly today, but he did come on for about 30-40 minutes of the
podcast. I did see the beginning. I saw he was on, and so I was hoping to see him when I came on.
Today he didn't say meep meep. He just said meep.
If you saw the beginning, you would have seen the picture of Matt. Obviously, you saw Matt meeting Nigel Winterburn. So, this I'm gonna probably share it again. Then I'll share it again for everyone. For anyone that wasn't here a little bit earlier.
Let's see if you can do it quicker than the last time, Ray.
Do it quicker. Okay, I'll try. This is the fans' experience. You go to Arsenal. Matt had a great time there.
Yeah.
But Arsenal didn't complete his day for him, Gary. Arsenal. Yeah. I'm sure Arsenal players wanted to get the win today, but I think at halftime, Gary, I was saying persistence and patience is required, but also desire to win the game in the second half. And, Matt went there. He saw Nigel Winterburn, but obviously it was a frustrating day for all involved.
Mm.
So that was Matt's day. I hope he had a good time despite the bad, not a terrible result, but 0-0 draw. It's not what you want. And Gary, I'm looking at the league table, and you're looking at the remaining games, and you're saying we need about 10 more wins, and today would have been one of the wins you would have earmarked to get, and we got a draw.
Yeah, and this is these are the games in hand. Not necessarily games in hand, but these are the games that we wanted. Like you said, we need to get wins. So yeah, no, I don't. We play some of our toughest games have been against the relegation teams. I mean, right? Norwich, we won by 1. Newcastle, tough game. I don't. Burnley, tough game. I mean, these are games we need to. We need the reason why I expect us to score more goals is because at least when we play a tougher team, I expect us to score less because they're a better team. But you never see it. So
Who do Arsenal have in the FA Cup next weekend? I think we're playing the Arsenal reserves, the Arsenal second team in the FA Cup next weekend. So, or by FC, BYE FC. Helen, we're playing the Cowboys. There you go. Might not even beat the Cowboys, Gary. Everybody beats the Cowboys. Anyway, listen, we get the second half. We need more. Second half, Gary, we come with that intensity that we needed. Maybe from the beginning of the game, we needed this.
Yep. Like I said, around the 60-minute mark is when I started to see us. I mean, we basically were just living in their attacking third for that basically that 10-minute period. I mean, just living in there, not able to break through. We needed to have scored somewhere in that point when you kind of have them, and we're just not able. We're not able to break through, and that's disappointing because we needed that. I guess I would say the youngsters were doing as much as they could, but we needed some of that senior leadership in the middle there to put it away. We just did not have that. We don't get that from Lacazette. I know the Assemble, I guess, was talking about striker's mindset. I don't know what I'm missing about that, but I mean, I know when you work so hard to get yourself in a position to score, and then it just it doesn't come off, and doesn't even give you an opportunity. Then you want to change that, but we see it consistently. So for me, it's not necessarily that we did it one time. We do it a lot. So it's a mindset that's there and it never changes. So I get it one game, but we need to see it more because you look at any of our losses, there were opportunities where we probably should have been able to put balls away, and we didn't even get them on frame. So that has to change, right? At least from the players we have. If things are going to move along, and the manager, coach is supposed to get us there. Right, the players are putting themselves in good situations and failing. You need to continue to get them in those positions, but they need to be more clinical. So that's on the squad and the player, right? I mean, it's on the coaching, management, and the player. All three of those have to kind of find some improvement somewhere.
I'm blaming everybody today. I'm blaming the manager for in-game management, which was poor. Edu gets a little bit of a mention as well because we have not prepared well for this month. Everybody knew about AFCON. And of course the players. It would have been really, really nice to sign off with a win because now we get to wait 2 weeks until we can do anything about this. We can't do anything about this until 2 weeks. And then it's going to be Tony's second team we're going to, which is Wolves.
My second team.
Your second favorite team.
I'm my second favorite team. I've just been winning and scared of playing them.
You just like them. You just like them a little bit, right?
Oh, I know.
Anyway, Tony, second half, like we're saying, Emile Smith-Rowe has that shot from the corner. It's difficult to know what our best chance was. Was it Emile Smith-Rowe's shot from the corner? I think it was probably that Gelted chance from Lacazette, shooting from the outside of his right foot, wide of the goal. We had numerous other chances, but none of those two are the ones that stick out clearly for me. Martinelli has another right-footed shot that's over the bar, high and wide.
Yeah. We're not clinical. We haven't been clinical all season. The only players that seem clinical is Odegaard and Smith Rowe. Like Gary says, just shoot the ball. We did shoot the ball a lot, though, Gary. 20's a lot. I guess Gary wanted us to shoot 40 today.
If you can't get a goal from 20, the only other thing you can do is put some more balls towards the goal, and we didn't do that. So, and for me, it's not even. I think we could have had 20 goal shots taken on this goal, but I think earlier in the possession, meaning maybe on the first touch. I mean, we have so many touches inside the box, and we never take the shot. And by that time, the defense, like I said earlier, the defense sets up.
Who's taking all the touches for you? Is it Lacazette?
I saw, I see Saka do that many times today, and I think he's guilty of that. Where he takes so many extra touches, and it never pays. Most of the time, it doesn't pay off because they're able to block. I mean, you know how many times he shot the ball right into the defender who's standing there and didn't move. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't see it, and that's why for me, if he just takes it the first time, defense is not going to be set. But once they get set and he doesn't look up, he just kicks it right into the defender who's standing in front of him, and it's like, too many extra touches for me. And I think I see it from Saka because I want him to do well, but I kind of feel like a lot of times we see it from everybody. I mean, they're always looking for the next pass as opposed to the next looking to take the shot themselves. I mean, once you get into the box,
there we go.
Once you get into the box, your first thought should be we need to put a shot on goal. I mean, it seems to be.
And that's when we were scoring, Gary, is when Odegaard and Smith Rowe
we had
quick shots.
It seems a long time ago since we beat, obviously, Norwich. They were bottom of the table at the time, 5-0. Burnley were bottom of the table today, and we weren't able to beat them. Weren't able to score even a goal. Helen said, no one banishing me, LOL. You aren't being banished, Helen. Who's getting relegated? So have a little think about that, guys. Who's getting relegated this season? I should think not as an LFC fan. I can appreciate quality fan channels. Listen, what I'd say, Helen, enjoy that Liverpool team. They are doing what Arsenal was doing 15, 16, 17, 18 years ago, and it's not going to last forever. That Liverpool team, they have quality right now, but cycles come, cycles go. Everybody's welcome here, even Spurs fans. We do have James Fernandez coming in once in a while, but Spurs were halted today, Gary, by Chelsea.
I mean, we never. I mean, anybody expected them to win today? Really? No, right?
I asked the question. I was like, Chelsea were on that little bit of a run where they weren't picking up points. I was worried Tottenham would, because Tottenham are doing that this week. They're winning games they shouldn't have won.
True, but they are that team. So eventually they look normal, and they did that today.
It's going to be very tight at the bottom. So, Gary, how do you see the relegation zone?
I had Norwich. There's definitely a team I think is going to get relegated. I know they're sitting in 17th, but everybody behind them has games in hand enough to catch them and pass them if they win one. I think Newcastle or Watford have 1 or 2 games in hand. If they win one of those, they're ahead of them. And Burnley has 4. So if Burnley can win 2 of those 4 or get points in all of the 4, for example, they will.
One of them is going to be against Tottenham because we do have a makeup game here.
So I think Norwich, Watford, and probably going to say Burnley. I think Newcastle will stay up.
Oh, I think Burnley will get out of the relegation.
There you go, Stefan. You're right.
For me, it's a toss-up of Watford or Newcastle is the one that doesn't get out of there.
Watford look like they're going down for sure. Newcastle will probably climb out. It's going to be then Burnley. I think Burnley are a team that's going to get relegated, and Norwich. As long as people are not abusive, everyone is welcome, even Spuds. It was kind of funny. We're having some fun on Thursday night with a Spurs fan.
Mm-hmm.
They get one big win and they get a little bit uppity. That's one of my criticisms of Saka. He'll take too many touches. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he'd get more goals if he took the shot quicker. Um, didn't bring up my quote about Xhaka's red card, um, where you said he apologized. I think we did chat about that. I'm hoping Watford don't go down for my sister's sake, Steph. I'll search back for that, Ray. Hopefully, it's not too far back. Um, so let's talk about man of the match today. It's very difficult, Gary, to pick a man. Tony Don Juan, man of the match.
Can we answer Russ's
Well,
question first?
Sure. Which
What
one
are our
is it?
feelings on Lakonga? I think he's been one of our better signings. I think he does very well. I don't think he's appreciated. He
Well,
had a good game
yeah,
today.
he
He
is
had a good
definitely.
game Thursday. Playing as a single pivot, I think he can do that role. But the team's not set up for him to succeed on that right now. But to me, he's one of our better signings. He's a leader, captain before, so I think he's a top quality player. I'd say he's our best midfielder, which is not saying much, but to me, he's the best midfielder we have right now.
I think I'll go next, Gary. I think Lakonga. We've asked a lot of him this season. We ask a lot of our young players, and some of them are up to the task. Some of them are able to handle the pressure. Some of them are able to take the atmosphere in stride. Um, Putting Lakonga in a single pivot is very, very unfair to him, in my opinion. And he needs somebody beside him. He needs a Partey alongside him. Dare I say it, he needs a Granit Xhaka beside him. But because of recent events with both of those players, he's been left to hang out to dry by himself. BX Gunner, it's okay. You're here most days, and you can take a nap once in a while. Gary, what's your thoughts on Lakonga? I think he's performed very well for his first season, but he's probably
yeah,
played more minutes than he should have.
yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, I think he's being asked to do more than we expected him. I mean, I don't. He definitely can't manage that middle by himself. Not today, anyways. And he doesn't have anybody. We've never played a single pivot much. I think we've seen play with Partey, and even he struggles to do it sometimes when we
We've
do
seen
that. We always think
Osaka. We've
so.
seen it 5 times this year so far, Gary.
Yeah, but when we don't do it enough to where I go, you know what? This is just part of the way that Arteta sets up his team. We just don't do it. So when we do it, it's usually out of inconvenience because we're missing someone or something like that, right? In a game like today where you expect to get most of the possession, I think it's good to do that. But we don't play it enough, so we didn't look for me as threatening as we needed to. So I think the Congo's going to learn, and that's the problem is he just doesn't have any healthy players ahead of him, so he's been asked to play when I think it would have been nice to say, all right, he's coming in because we're resting someone, not because they're out, and that's kind of where we are right now. So they don't get to grow and be nice to have seen. For example, say we come into this match and we're healthy, and we go with a single pivot, be it Partey. Arteta doesn't do that. Why not?
One reason
Right? Right? Why
one
not do
reason
it
it
when?
does not work with us is because our fullbacks are way up ahead. Have to stay back a little bit to play a single pivot.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're gonna do it, we don't. I just think we're not used to doing it for me, anyways, and so it doesn't work out that way. I think Lakonga still needs time, which is disappointing because we need players that can rotate in and not figure out. They don't need to figure out how to play football for Arteta. They need to have seen enough that they come in and they can get a lot of time, and we don't have to feel like what he's just not ready yet. So I don't think Lakonga's there yet. Same thing with Tavage, right? They're good as backups, but you got to have a healthy squad in front of them,
Yeah.
and we don't even have that sometimes. I mean, I
I,
kind of feel like the reason why we're seeing Tierney playing a lot more now is because Tavage did come in and was able
yeah,
to give us some
yeah,
spot duty. We don't have that on the right back side. We don't have that in midfield, right? When Sambi comes in, he doesn't provide the same kind of backup that Tavage did during that stretch that he got to play. And also, I don't know if he played as good as, for example, Tavage did when he came in. If Partey or Xhaka would use that as inspiration to play better, That's my, the thinking.
Yeah.
Like KT did it, and he's seen him come in now. We're getting as good as we can get out of him right now. He's just got nobody to give that ball to, right? So I kind of feel like, yeah, he's all right. He's just not.
What we
He's just not. He's not part of what I would call the starting depth. Like he comes in and does spot duty, but
I would
if we need
say
to rotate somebody in and say, we're not going to see too much of a dip in form, he's not there yet.
a good indicator if we're doing well, Gary, is if you and I are arguing about who the best left back is, even if in the end it turns out to be Kieran Tierney and you are right, it still means the backup is doing well. That I'm asking the questions. Tavares, for a little part there, I was gassing him up a little bit because I didn't see it from Kieran Tierney, and then we saw Kieran Tierney respond with a better performance. We need that 8 times more over the field across all parts of the field. Stan's probably uh, summarized the whole game up here in this phrase here. Poor finishing let us down today. And is it just an off day? I hate to say that.
We see that too many times for it to be an off day. That seems to be a norm. It's not a blip that we don't
Yeah.
finish in front of the goal.
We're
how
not
many
clinical, Ray.
when's the last time Lacazette has put a ball in open play on target?
Southampton.
When was that?
Over a month ago, early
Okay,
December.
so it was last year.
It's been a year ago. PX Gunner says we're struggling against bottom of the table and championship sides. We are in trouble, and there's got to be a midfielder out there. There's got to be a striker out there that can help us. And Tony, can I ask you, if we cannot get anyone in the transfer market, if clubs won't let go of players, can we recall one of our loanees? Is that possible? But will we do it? First of all, is it possible?
It has to be. It has to be emergency. You have to be down to a certain amount of players. So no, probably not, right?
Are we not in that emergency? You could bring Lucas Torreira back. Here's what I'm thinking: bring Lucas Torreira back and force Fiorentina into pushing Dusan into picking the phone up. I know that's farcical. I know, but that's where we are right now. We're a week away from Tony. You said it. You said I think January window is going to be very, very active. We haven't seen anything happen, Tony.
Yep, we have. Like right now, we have an agreement with Arthur, but Juve wants to either permanently sell him or a full year loan, something like that. They don't want a 6-month deal for him. So he probably will stay put.
Russ said everyone blames Xhaka, but we've had 3 years and 2 managers who haven't got rid of him. Probably more than 2 managers as well. I think he was with Wenger. He was with Emery. Freddie Lundberg probably was stuck with him, couldn't do anything.
Freddie doesn't count.
3 managers, so sounds a bit suspect.
That's an issue, isn't it? I mean, the man, he's not shown any consistency there. What's consistent is at some point he's going to get a red card. That's just, he's got 2 this season already. That's just, not good. I mean, I don't know what that says more about the managers more than it does about him. They keep playing him and he keeps letting them down.
Yeah. The problem is he hasn't improved any. He hasn't worked on his deficiencies. The same player we've signed. He's no better than the day we signed him.
Ray Anderson said, depending on what the loan contract says. So I would, start recalling we need players. We can't get them through the transfer window.
There is no way our contracts are written up in such a way that we can bring back a player because
we brought
we're not that good.
Didn't we bring Aziz back?
No, I think there was more mutual. Here, take him.
Oh, he wasn't like tearing up the championship.
He was getting enough game time. I think it was just, I think that was probably more, you're not playing him, so can we get him back and we'll try to get him out on another loan. And I was just like to Stan's point where we're the finishing, we haven't scored in 4 consecutive matches in like
since
17
first.
years.
Yeah.
17 years.
Wow. I think the
Or 16
discussion
years.
has gone into Prisoner Cell Block H, which I remember watching that show. It's
Yeah.
horrible. DWTT, who selects these players and gives them instructions on what's
Yeah.
expected of them? I don't blame any of these players.
Yeah.
It might be a rhetorical question there.
No. I mean, it's definitely I mean, I don't think these players are as bad as they seem on the pitch. I mean, I think we all feel like we've got some talented players in this squad. I just don't think they're being utilized correctly. I mean, Pepe is what, 4 goals and number assists in AFCON. I mean, he's tearing it up there. Is it? What's the reason for that? He's playing with better players, I believe, on Arsenal, and he can't get a
Right.
sniff out of him.
So this is the question, Gary. Will Pepe be used when he comes back?
He's so funny. He's so funny, Ray.
If he comes back.
Yeah, he's coming back, but does
You have a player. You have a player who goes to the tournament and is playing quite well, and Saka is getting tired. You can see it in his performances.
He's been tired the entire season.
Yeah. Listen, we've got 36 points from 21 games.
Are we gonna go to Madonmon now since we got delayed by like 10
we're on
minutes?
course for a 65-point finish right now. I think we'll finish anywhere between 65 and 70, and I still think it's going to be close. Not saying the dreaded T4 right now, but let's just see how we go. We definitely dropped some points today. We need to reclaim those points from beating a bigger team ahead of us. Don Juan, Tony, who are you going to give it to? Or do you want to get our recommendations first?
Yeah, we could go around. To me, it's either Odegaard or Saka. I'd go with Odegaard.
Odegaard for sure. I thought Emile Smith-Rowe played well. Here's another thing, Tony. Why is Emile Smith-Rowe always the one who's getting withdrawn? And Arteta, if you're talking about favorites, he seems to like Odegaard quite a bit. Now, that's justified. Odegaard's playing well, but Arteta does have his favorites.
I think he's just kind of like Lacazette. He can't play with a full 90. He can play about 70 minutes, and after that, he needs to come off.
And that's the situation as well. We all feared the Lacazette was going to be taken off when Eddie came on. We are not in a good enough position. We're not in good shape as a club, Gary, if we're bringing Eddie in with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, basically any hope that you had seems to be gone when he comes in. Even though he did come in today, and he actually looked like he was trying to get himself in positions. He was attacking. He was putting. They had to kick the ball out a couple of times because of the pressure that he put on them as he had tried to get to the ball. So I think it's good and all, but we don't see it whenever he's consistently when he's on the pitch, right? And that's what happened. I think that's what for me his problem. The problem is okay. We know what your skills say you are, but you need to overachieve. And he never does that. I mean, I don't know if do you see Russ's comment there about Xhaka getting reds, comparing him to Vieira? I guess my question whenever they bring that up is, did Vieira help us win games consistently with his play?
Yeah.
Does Xhaka help us win games consistently with his play?
No.
So I mean, I don't. So it's not really. And once again, it's the comparison's only on the cards, but not on the performance, right?
You're comparing Arsenal in their pomp when they were winning championships and doubles, to where we are now. We'd be lucky if we go deep in the FA Cup, or win a lesser cup. Now, don't get me wrong. I like winning trophies. I still value the FA Cup, but Pepe is the baller. He will never get a chance under Arteta, as he won't be more defensive for 70 million. I wouldn't expect him to. You pay him to do what he's best at, surely. And we're going to be in a position where we need to win games. We got 17 games left. We got to get 10 wins from those 17, and a few dirty little draws here and there. So, Tony, Odegaard, Gary, what was your choice for man of the match?
Oh, my choice for man of the match, like, for me, once again, it seemed to me like it was damn. I was gonna say Martinelli again, but he did.
Boy,
You
you
know,
were chatting that one, Gary.
I did.
Did you hear? Did you hear the name? I didn't.
Oh man, I was just gonna say Martinelli. I kind of
Come
felt
on,
like
you
he.
can't pick your favorites every week, Gary. Come on.
You know what? All right, if it's not Martinelli, so I'm not allowed to pick him. Uh, you know what? You know what? The
Notice
one
he's
thing,
giving it to
you know
Tom
what? I did not.
Chambers.
I can give it to Chambers and Lacazette every week.
Erdogan, his name comes up as playing really well, and for me, when I looked to the midfield, it was Zombie that I saw the most. So I don't know, like I kind of felt like Erdogan is not doing, he's not playing poorly or something like that. It's just that the way the game is being played, he just kind of disappears, and I kind of felt like I want to see more of him. So that's why I barely can give it to him. I actually think
There's,
Saka. I think actually Saka for me. Well, I'll give him the man of the match for me then.
What?
Yeah,
But
and then
Kaya
you know what?
Saka,
A lot of people said he did really poorly, and I'm looking at that second half going, he's attacking that
He
side,
did pretty
right?
good, I thought.
He's attacking that
That's why he's my
side.
second
He's
pick.
getting put down on the ground multiple times. Why? Because he's a threat, and and he got back up and he still was putting pressure. I want it to be a little bit more clinical, yeah. And we can say that about pretty much everybody on the squad, so it's not really a negative for him. But he, if I'm not going to pick Martinez, I think on the outsides we just looked really good. We just had nothing in the middle, nobody coming in to help them.
Yeah.
Consistently, and they never had any time out there on the ball because they knew nothing was coming through the middle, so they could just key off of what was happening on the outside. So for me, I'm going to go with Saka. I know it's bad, it's not everybody's choice, but I'm going to go with Saka.
Ray Anderson said Pepe had a fantastic finish to last season. Correct. 5 goals in the last 3 games. Arteta does not rate him, and I thought Pepe in the early part of the season, around about the Crystal Palace game, a little bit before that, he was providing some chaos. Was providing some goals and assists. Maybe not so much goals, but assists. He was affecting games. I think Arteta's gotten away from that, and it's the problem with Arteta is he wants sanitized football. He wants good, clean, sanitized football. And
pretty much all 3 of us predicted Pepe with double-digit assists and goals, and he hasn't really a chance at all.
You have to have 11 Kevin De Bruyne's in the team for Arteta. That's an issue. If Pepe went to a team outside the top 6, they'd use him right, and he'd score plenty of goals. Doesn't he? Because he doesn't do the things that the coach wants. Did he play well under Emery? That's the question I asked. Correct. Wait till Pepe moves on. His next club will have him scoring for fun.
That's the problem. A lot of these players are being held back here. They're being kind of constrained when they play for Arteta because of all of his instruction, which doesn't play to their skill set. Which that's why when he doesn't play to his skill set, to the skill set that he wants, they look hindered out there. I mean, we talk about Lacazette. He should be scoring and he can't. I think partly because he's got to do everything else that's on the menu of items that he has to get done.
Yeah, scoring seems like the last box he has to check.
So anyone, you got any other topics you want to talk about, Gary? I thought we could just briefly go through the Premier League weekend here. Watford, Norwich coming forward. Watford look like they're a team that's spirited and going to go down.
Yeah, no, I mean, the only thing that stood out for me that I had highlighted is to start, we have no dominance in the air in the middle of the pitch, and we need more of that. And I think today we would have, if we did have some of that, I think we would have been better for it. So.
We have that when we got Gabriel and Tommy.
Well, you're talking about our defender, right? Is that what you're talking about? Because that's the only one right now who's in the box.
Two defenders, Tommy Ashu and Gabriel.
You know what I mean? Like, we need to have attacking players in the box who are threats in the air.
As well. For this style, guess who would be perfect for it?
We are
scored over 28 headers for us. One of Stan's favorite little strikers.
Talk about
Giroud.
Prisoner of Cell Block H panel. Let's talk about that. But the other two need to have watched it or know what it is.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
We'll have plenty of time in February, so Gary, catch up on your Prisoner of
Why
Cell
the
Block
fuck
H.
do we have such a long break for?
No, because we're not in Europe, right?
There will be a fever
Yeah.
pitch. We are going to do a fever pitch watch along. So
You've been saying that for a year.
now we have a gap coming up. Lots of content to fill.
He's
Tony.
waiting for cousin Artie. I mean Uncle Artie to fail, and then and then he was gonna.
I've got the scores down bottom. I closed the gap on Gary over the weekend because I picked Manchester City.
Good one.
The
Good
upset
pick there. Yeah.
Very close to getting all 11 points there, but I got 5.5 points. Close the gap to Gary. Gary, you're still number one there.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal knocked off top four. We were in a fourth position today. Today we finished in sixth position, and we got to wait a couple of weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to talk about before we wind it up? Anyone else in the no, not the Drew Barrymore fever pitch, BX, the real fever pitch, the real fever pitch.
They're both good. They're both good, but nah, the Arsenal one. Come on.
The Arsenal one, exactly. Scroll back on this live stream, BX Gunner. You'll see Matt was at the stadium today, and he probably had the same. Going into a stadium for the first time, you kind of like, even as an adult, you feel like that kind of like gasp. You know what I mean? You're in somewhere special. Stefan adores fever pitch, so we'll do that watch along. We won't be able to use the audio, but you will get our take, our feelings as Arsenal fans for that film as well. Such a great film. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Have you seen the movie, Tony?
No, I have not.
Well, you got to catch up. You got to watch it. Tony, Gary, have you seen it?
That's the point of a watch along. I'll watch it.
I've seen it. Yeah.
You get my reaction from the fresh reaction, Ray. Off the cuff, like I like to be.
There you go.
Okay, well, a couple of other things before we wind up here. Arsenal are reportedly fascinated by the prospect of signing Everton striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I'm going to have to be able to. I think he could come to Arsenal with a move in the summer, looking more likely than ever. The other thing, Gary, was Ollie Watkins versus Calvert-Lewin in the Everton versus Villa game.
I didn't.
Did you guys see any games this weekend?
I did see some games, and that one I don't know why.
I felt so sorry for Graham Sharp. Yeah, a little bit disappointed he was by that goal. Steven Gerrard coming into the Lions Den and getting a win there. We are speaking about the same problems for the duration of Arteta's reign. We've got different players in the same problems. What's the common denominator? Yeah. Until we can get some depth into that team, until we can get at least 5 more players, Gary, it's going to continue. We're going to have these hiccups a little bit.
Yeah, I don't even know. They're not even hiccups. It's just what it is. I mean, we knew we didn't have depth, and it's played out exactly now when it would have played out, right? Get Partey back in when he's back out again. So it's just silly. To see things happen.
A little bit of other gossip. Stefan likes fever pitch because he's soppy old sod. Yeah, it's a romantic movie, Tony. You'd love it. You'd love it, Tony. Gary, you've seen it?
I have not. I have not seen it. I'm trying to figure out how to see. At least to start with.
I think you can stream it on Tubi, pretty free.
Oh, is it Tubi? Okay.
Yeah. I'll check it out. I found it.
I see it on something called, I don't know if you guys, something called Daily. Daily seems to have a lot of those videos. I don't think you have to pay for them. Yeah.
Tony, the other thing was news coming through of Aubameyang was sent home because of misdemeanors late at night, partying. Rumors, I have to say.
Yeah. Won't surprise me at all.
Atletico have also said to be interested in his services. I saw the Newcastle versus Leeds match yesterday, half of the City match. Yep.
If anybody has interest in him, then what? Buy, right? At some point,
Hmm.
just buy, let him go. I mean, what's the point? I mean, you're not playing him, so
Um,
let him go.
Gary, did you see the Man United West Ham game? No.
No, wait, Man United, who?
That offside, the last minute goal, that offside.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, you know what? It's a 50-50 for me. I mean, it's a 50-50. The fact that it wasn't Arsenal red is why it went the way it did. If it was Arsenal red, it probably would have gone
Can you
against us.
explain why VAR hardly checked it, or it was such a quick check?
As I just said, it all depends on the color red that is being checked.
Ah,
Yeah,
it had the right shade of red. Okay.
yeah. It had the right shade of red, so it went through. And no, it's Stefan. I did watch it. I did like it. Yeah, I did like it. So I have to watch it again. Yeah.
That was a tight call, which goes in the favor of the.
I would say that, but how
not
comes
us, though.
when we exactly when we're home, I don't think we're ever going. That one was definitely a home cooking right there.
Like, yeah, we got this. No, we don't got this.
We
You know
never
what I mean?
say that. It's just painful.
All right, we'll get out of here. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening through a 0-0 draw. Tony, let's get your final thoughts, Tony. Hey, how you had your leather, and now you don't have leather.
I know. I had it on. Russ requested me in leather. Do I need to put it back on? There. Are you happy?
He's going out on his bike later. Sons of Anarchy. Final thoughts, Tony. Listen, disappointing, frustrating. All of those words can be put into play, but just 1 point at the end of the day to add to the stack.
To me, though,
really,
to me, one word you can say is predictable, because we haven't reinforced. We beat the teams we should have. We got lucky to get to fourth. Now we're have to go out and get players for the challenge for fourth. I think it's going to be probably too late because the manager isn't good enough and we haven't got enough players in to take a world-class striker, clinical striker, to change things around, which is possible. Hopefully we do it. But so far the window's been boring, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. Listen, Arsenal is thanks, Tony. Arsenal is the perfect club. If you feel a little bit optimistic, you can make a case for that. If you feel pessimistic, you can also make a case for that, because we are neither one or the other. We're neither going in the right direction or in the wrong direction. I don't know what's happening.
We're spinning in circles, Ray.
2 steps forwards, 2 steps backwards. Gary?
Yeah, no. It's disappointing. Points dropped, definitely. Opportunity that we needed to take, and we didn't.
18 days.
Especially with the fact that, you know what, we get the win. We are, fourth, I think, or
yeah. I wanted to celebrate my birthday back in 4th place.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
They let you down.
Happy birthday, Ray. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
What did you get for your birthday, Ray? Did you get anything?
Piece of merchandise. Yeah.
Follow
my timeline. You'll see.
I got other things to do, Ray.
I know exactly who's following you. What's your name again on
Tau Prophet. Explain that one. What the hell is a Tau Prophet 420?
You want me to explain it?
Sure, we got 1 minute.
Or do you want to wait until the next episode? We got like 4 weeks to fill in, Ray.
I feel like the future will be Fever Pitch and Kahoot and some transfer news here and there. There could be a blockbuster one with Dusan coming, but
And the origin of my screen name.
There you go, Ray. That's what we're doing. Kahoot, Fever Pitch, Watch Along, things like that. Any other bits and pieces of gossip. But yeah, Arsenal, they always
It's Arsenal, Ray. There's always going to be something to talk
Gary,
about.
there's always something, right?
We talked
yeah.
about nearly 3 hours Thursday.
I think we're going to
2.5 hours today.
We are going to do a tongue-in-cheek, all or nothing, very acerbic and cynical look at the Arsenal season so far in the Arsenal fan circle Amazon-style documentary.
Our mockumentary.
Now you're asking how are we going to do that? Yeah, it's like a mockumentary, exactly. Arsenal's failure to act quick in this transfer window is going to cost us top 4 finish. This is the best chance we'll get.
Yep.
Exactly. We don't know what Newcastle are going to save themselves, and they were probably going to rebuild and be a different animal next season. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Be nice to everybody. Be nice to your neighbor. Be nice to Tony.
Be nice to everybody except for Gary.
And be nice to us. If you're new around here, you haven't subscribed yet, it's free. Subscribe. Hit the like button on the way out. Validate your
And the main thing, share. Not just like and subscribe. Share it.
Share. People don't share.
That's why we're stuck at 400 and some. Come on, Ray. We deserve more.
They might like. But anyway, Gary, thanks for joining.
Thank you to everybody in the chat for showing up today. I'm sorry I missed you.
Thanks for joining.
We might see Russian biker Tony again soon.
Yeah, assembled. Really, whatever I said, really, I meant it. I wasn't just joking. We're going to do an Amazon. I think it's really towards the Amazon style mockumentary. That's a good one, Tony. Tony, say good night.
Good night, Tony.
Thanks everyone for being. Thanks everyone for being here. We're getting great amount of people in here now, so it's great to see. Come on, you Arsenal.
Gary, it's time to turn off the lights on your background.
Shut it down, Gary. Bye.
Bye, Gary.
Oh, that's a nice effect. I like that.